for taking time out of your day to meet with us. We really appreciate it. We also want to thank you for allowing our class to work with you. We had a lot of fun doing it. We all really enjoyed it. You came to us with a goal, and that was to increase sales within our school. We think that we did that through a combination of our event that we put on Friday, future events that we have planned, the social media ideas that we have, and the display case. We believe that your sales will increase within Crooked High School as a result from all that. And we're going to kick off this meeting with the event group, talking about, just recapping the event on Friday.
Alright, the goal of the event group was to increase awareness of weekly sales, get the product in the hands of the students, and to gain more Twitter followers for Crooked High School. We can tell that it worked because the following Tuesday we sold 100 smoothies out of 150 rather than just your 40. And we also gained, I believe, a little over 100 Twitter followers.
It was like 60.
Oh, okay. Well, that's still a lot.
Yeah.
And between first and second lunch, we've made a few changes. First lunch, a lot of people were like stealing samples, and so we pushed the tables back. And we also stopped walking around with samples because we ran out at first lunch. And second lunch, we started focusing on gaining more Twitter followers instead of trying to ask too much of the students on social media. And our only suggestions for next year are making sure that the locations of the games are all in one central area because the ball pit didn't get much participation because it was a little far away. And be prepared for running out of samples and create new ways to engage students.
And not really like us.
That's good.
Okay, so for the display case, our goal was also to raise awareness about the event and also just Smoothie King being at the school in general. It went well, except we had to troubleshoot a little bit, and it didn't go out as soon as we had planned. But for next year, our only suggestions are to make it go up sooner, and it should be easier next year since we've done it once. And the only changes we're going to make to it is in the bottom left, there's a sign that just says like November 8th, and we're going to change that around to a promo for the giveaways every week.
Okay. Cool.
And when we started looking at why the sales at Kirkwood wasn't as high as they should be, one of the things that kind of jumped out at me was the location of the cooler and how they were actually physically being sold. And so, currently it's right up against a pillar, and it's kind of roped off, and it's kind of, by the time you see it, it's an afterthought when you're buying your lunch. And so,
Is that what it was yesterday still?
yesterday they kind of changed it up because they added another one. But and so for a while I've been working hard on coming up with a strategy where there'd be a cooler on each side of the cafeteria. And so when you walk through, it'd be one of the first things you see as you go, and so it's on your way as you buy your lunch. But after watching every day, people buy the smoothies, I noticed that almost all of the kids that are buying the smoothies are not doing it while they're buying their drinks and while they're buying their food. It's after. It kind of is like an a la carte item. So if you did have those on the sides, then the people who are buying them after, it's kind of inconvenient because they have to walk by. So I came up with a new layout, which in the binder I drew up a sketch of that. In this way, you still get all the foot traffic of having all the people walk through, and it's right by each checkout. And there are two coolers to offer more of the product, and it's still easy for people who just want to come up and get their smoothie and get out and don't want to have to mess with going through the big line and stuff. So it's going to make the whole buying experience a lot easier, and I think it's going to eventually lead to an increase in sales.
Awesome. That makes sense.
And then for social media, what we wanted was to get Kirkwood students more involved with Smoothie King's Twitter and Instagram. And the way we know that we succeeded was that if we had more followers, more retweets, and then the pictures on the monitor, basically.
Yeah, I haven't seen any. There were like 5 or 6 on Friday that we approved to go up there. I haven't seen any since
Yeah,
then.
we're going to try to remind students to take pictures.
Yeah, for the event, we created the K Would Be Good hashtag, and we're going to get people to tweet that like every Tuesday. And we created the monitor, so we made sure that the Twitter feed was on there to get people an incentive to tweet. And then we tried to do a flavor contest for the event, and that didn't really work out because we decided that was probably too much to ask of people with everything else going on. That could definitely be done like during the year or some other time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, especially if we pick people from whoever has people, whoever tweeted it out, we picked from them to give away gift cards or prizes that the winners won.
So in the future, we want to get Kid Would Be Good on announcements weekly. And then for any future events, we want people to get involved using the hashtags. And also, we're going to plan weekly giveaways.
Yeah, and the giveaway would be every Tuesday. The contestants would tweet in, picture them either at the store or at school with a smoothie to the hashtag Kid Would Be Good. And then at the end of the day, probably after dinner, so you've gotten everybody who would come after school as well.
Okay.
You put it all through a random number generator, and then you figure out who won for the day, and then you send the email to Mr. Button, and with the name of the person, the picture, so he knows who it is, and then they'll bring in their ID the next day,
Okay.
and to be able to verify who it is, and they'll be able to free money on smoothies.
So the big cards were ahead.
Yeah.
Good.
And then if you decide to do this next year again with Kirkwood, what we suggest is that maybe for one day with one event, don't try to ask so much of social media. Don't ask so much of the students for social media, because I feel like the player contest, tweeting, and following was kind of too much to ask for them. That's maybe why they didn't do it all.
And as for future events, we have the NBA fundraising coming up, and also the Sim Smoothie thing. So for the NBA, those are ordered, correct? And so those will be in on time to deliver to the winning class's homerooms on December 4th. That's like the homeroom that the Wednesday we come back after break. So they'll announce at the pep rally who wins. And I think that's also up on the announcements every day. Yes.
When we had first talked about the MDA, we weren't approved by Stuco yet, and since then we have gotten it cleared to Stuco, and we're helping them advertise that there is this new incentive for the NBA football. And I've given information of how to advertise it to both of the Stuco sponsors and also to the principals that are on the announcements daily. And they've already mentioned it 2 days ago when I first gave it to them, and there should be a sheet. Do you have a sheet of that?
Yeah, we do that.
Yes. There's a sheet in the binder that says about a rough draft of what they could say for the incentive.
So how does that promotion actually work with the fact that, all I know about it is NBA price wins $2. That's all I know about it. So what is it? And
Well, the NBA footballs it's raising money from us for the district league.
okay.
And so you pay $1 and you get these little footballs, and then with the footballs you get entered in a drawing that they've already, they do it weekly,
Okay.
but that was already set up years ago. But you can get gift cards and other things. And we have a competition with Webster also, so this works out with you this year. You can try it next year with Webster also. But at the end, on the Turk Gate pep rallies and those, they announce the winners, like the winning class that sold the most, and the winning class gets like this cup or some kind of like trophy. But this would just add to people like wanting to get something back besides a gift card.
So is there something that we can put in the store that would promote it as well? Like a little football and sign or?
You could
Maybe.
potentially sell them in store too. And
I could talk to Steve about that.
I was wondering, go to both places or might be.
And for the Send a Smoothie event, pretty much the goal of that event is it's right before spring break, so it's kind of getting people in the first spring break, and it's basically just to get product into customers' hands and allow, more opportunities for us to be and send it to someone here at Kirkwood. And it's partnered up with DECA, so DECA is going to do that. And then there's a calendar and kind of a layout for that in the binder. DECA members will be selling the smoothies and little slips that are also in the binder. March 3rd through 7th, and then the delivery of the smoothies will be on the 12th through.
And my job in all of this is I was kind of our connection to the school's broadcast program. So I ran videos from Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday before the event, and had a recap on Tuesday. Basically, the goal of this was to basically create awareness about the event, and then for the people who weren't at the event, for example, seniors, create awareness that the event happened. And we have also added in weekly that smoothies are going to be sold on Tuesdays. So then we hope this just remind students before they go to the cafeteria, like, oh hey, remember there's smoothies. I want a smoothie.
Where is that video?
The videos, I have the files,
Okay.
and then
But you haven't published them, or you using yet anywhere?
we used them. Which videos are you talking about?
Which one you're talking about?
Alright, we had little promo videos Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I guess that would have been the 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Okay.
And so those ran.
Okay.
And then we had this thing called the Pioneer Playback, which is like a weekly recap of the events that happened. And we added the Smoothie King event into that. So if you would like a copy of that.
Did you guys all see on our Facebook page, we had all the pictures from the event? You guys can go and tag your sons, that'd be great.
So for the budget, which you have a copy of in your binder, you gave us a $400 budget, 300 of which was going to the sampling on Friday. The large event group spent $57.39. The small events group spent $16.20. The signage didn't buy anything. The display case spent $49.89. The Twitter and Instagram group spent $462. Punch card group spent $68.72, bringing you to a total of $196.82. And then at the top right, I have it broken down into who spent what and what you owe them.
Perfect, I got $1,000 money right here. Ready to go. Thank you, that's exactly what I needed.
Alright, so we would like to thank you for partnering with us, and if you have any questions, we would all be happy to answer.
Did you guys rehearse this? Yeah, it's all pretty fluid, Bounce. There's a lot of people here. You guys all bounce back and forth pretty smoothly. Let me see. Questions, comments that I have here. I have the stamps. They're all in. So the star was the one design that they did not have prime eligible. So I couldn't get those 2 days, so I didn't have them on Friday, but they arrived yesterday. So I got those. Do you guys have the stamps? Do you have those punch cards? Just go see what they look like. And I told them the first thing I did after the event was I took the wiring assembly out of the compaction, tore it out, sent it back to the manufacturer to get it all upgraded. The wiring is a disaster, so it's going to be all smooth and connect better and be longer and everything. So